Yo, what's up? I know it's early 10 a.m. on the Profowon channel. We have the trades coming to you live from YouTube. We have a really great show. We're coming to you live from YouTube and Instagram. But if you want to have questions for our guests, you have to log on to the YouTube Profowon channel. We're just getting warmed up. Whoever's watching, let us know in the chat what city, state, country, and or crew. We're going to have a really great show today. Let us know where you are tuning in from. Got my video set. We're going to talk about LA history today. JG, Florida. We have Spain in the house. Thank you for tuning in. If it's the first time to the Profowon channel, please subscribe and like this video. Let it get out there to the algorithm. We have a really, really great show. We're going to start the countdown in 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And if you're in the chat, if you have any questions for our guest, let us know. Put them in the chat. And if we have enough time, because we're going to go dive deep on this hip hop journey. I don't speak Spanish, but if you want to translate it later on, I ain't mad at it. All right, one more minute. We're going to start the countdown. All right, we're starting the countdown right now. This video has been brought to you by Break Connect. Go to the website and register. Check out what they have to offer at Yo, what's up? This is Shadow Rock and Profowon of the Floor Gangs and Knuckleneck Tribe. And you're watching The Trades, the show about breaking hip hop and the business of. How's everyone doing? I know it's early. Usually I go on at nighttime, but you know what? I had to do this by special request because we have a really, really, really great show. Before I introduce our guests and talk about this great subject that we're going to talk about that no one ever talks about, not in public. And again, this channel is to help educate about hip hop and even the connection of dancing and hip hop. Before we do that, we gotta do a little house cleaning. First of all, 89% of you are not subscribed. You have gotten me to about 2K, subscribers, and a lot of you guys are lurking. And if I have to go to like, hey, the only way you could comment on the chat is to subscribe, that's what I'm gonna do. But to help out the channel so we can have more content like this, but like more interviews with influencers in hip hop. And we're not just talking about rap, we're talking about dance, DJing, graffiti. I've yet to have a graffiti guy, but eventually, actually, I just got an idea. I need to hit up someone as far as like influential in graffiti. And of course, MCing. Please help the channel out by just subscribing. It's free to you. It's free to you. You're watching the content anyway. So you might as well, subscribe, hit the like button, click the bell for notifications for more content like this. Yo, it's been a while. The last time I was on, it was for B-Boy Network Reacts. We did a breakdown of the lineup of the BC one out there in Minnesota a few weeks ago. That's the last time I was live. And at the same time, you can check me out live. I do a lot of like more vlogging live, talking to the camera over there on Instagram. If you're watching there, you can follow me on Instagram at PROFO underscore FLGZ, and that's on Instagram. All right. So when I was planning out my month, I basically was thinking like, okay, there's a few people I need to interview because there's a few missing pieces. Because if you're born in 1997 and you're in this dance scene now, it already existed. Like this competition dance scene already existed, from your all styles dances to your breaking battles to your popping battles to your locking battles. They existed already. Like, and what tends to happen when it exists, you don't kind of do the research of how did we even get here? Why do we even do these moves? And why are these different styles existing and this and that? You just kind of go with, hey, I'm in the studio or whatever, whatnot. I'm competing. I want to win. So that is more value than actually how we got here and how these moves got developed. And for a lot of people that are in the dance scene right now, you guys didn't see that there was like this kind of dead period when things weren't even featured. So my whole point of the channel is to kind of give a timeline of how this all came together. Now the other thing is that I invite mostly dancers on, right? Like well-known dancers, but we never get this perspective of the other elements. So in the past, I've had like DJs on, like I've had DJ Qbert, I've had Redmatic, I had DJ Shortcut, I've had Rob Swift, I had DJ Flag, who's actually from the breaking community. But I know a bunch of rappers, but I haven't necessarily interviewed them on the show. Like, just I had more personal conversations with that. My first interview with a rapper was Wild Child, who represented Loop Pack, and he works a lot with Madlib. And if that's the guy who basically worked with MF Doom. We're talking Stone's Thrown. But then, like, I was thinking of a group that has always supported the dance community, and that's the Black Eyed Peas. So when I had the opportunity to be like, hey, I need you on the show so we could talk about this dance and your history in dance and how that was influential of what is going on now in the world scene, I had to jump on it. So without further ado, representing the Black Eyed Peas, we got my man, Taboo. What's up, Tab?
What up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, brother? Thank you for being on the show. This is this is an honor, because the thing is, like, before you talk about your history, the first time I saw you guys was 1995 when I used to rap. Like I actually used to
Oh,
rap,
wow.
and we actually opened up for you guys. And this
And
was
where?
like
Where in
it
town?
was a huh?
Was this in the Bay or in
No,
L?
it was in LA.
Okay.
We had connections to LA,
All right.
and you guys were still at Band Clan,
Oh yeah.
and
That was Will, Apple, and Mookie. Yep. Yep.
yeah, and you were there. We rapped, and then there was like if it was a Foundation Funk Collective. I
Oh yeah.
forgot the promote.
Collective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
We did one of those shows, and we were dancers, so we saw you dance, and we were kind of like all vibing, and there was a freestyle hip hop circle, but there was there was b boys too. I believe that Asia was there, and some of the early rock steady guys like stretching them,
Yep.
before it was still the beginnings of b-boy summit. So but that was like my first experience with you guys, and then we saw you guys' career flourish from there. So again, like I said, because the thing is in the breaking career, like the thing is you mentioned Remind, like those guys are actually younger than me.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like older than them, but then like they were like when they were doing the breaking thing, I kind of took a detour and started doing the rapping thing and then went back to dancing. So that's like kind of my story, and me seeing you guys, me and my friends seeing you guys first was through the Foundation Collective
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Foundation Collective. I mean that hub of dancers, MCs, poets,
Yes. Yeah.
all kinds of, it's just we galvanized all these creatives and thought-provoking artists that just wanted to come and spit, whether they're Filipino, Native American, Black, Mexicanos. It didn't matter, man. We all came together and we celebrated each other through our art forms and our different disciplines. And for us, Black Eyed Peas, just to give you guys a history lesson, before any Where's the Love or I Gotta Fill in There, Boom Boom Pow, or any of these records, before the world knew who Black Eyed Peas was, we started in the battle zones of battling other crews and battling other MCs and other b-boys or freestyle dancers. We just always were battle first. will.i.am was one of the illest, if not the illest, battle MC in the 90s. He was known as Will 1X, and he used to battle at this place called Ballistics, which was David Faustino's club. And
Word.
this is where the essence of like the battle scene came up. So this is 92, right? And so when he was doing that, myself, Apple Diap, my boy Polo Molina, a couple other crews, we all were, rocking the ciphers, right? Dancing, just getting our reputation up from going from like San Gabriel Valley, being a native Mexican kid from San
I'm
Gabriel
sorry
Valley,
about that.
wanted to get my rep up. Just, yep.
There you go. Just the
Yeah,
background. Yeah.
yeah. Trying to get my rep up just as a dancer, man. And this is before actually really going ham on learning how to write a song. Because at that time it was just like I just want to battle. I didn't care who it was, anytime, any place, and people would see me. Who's that guy with the rag on his head? Who's that guy with the different style and the martial arts and the footwork and the popping? That was the accumulation of all these different influences, whether it was Bruce Lee or Billy Jack or watching WWF at the time, the wrestlers, how they would incite the crowds and make everybody all hype, and learning how to battle, learning how to diminish your opponent without even saying anything, just by how b-boys do it. We clown when you crash, we make sure you crash, right?
Right.
So that element of bravado and that instinct of wanting to just battle was something that was innate to us as dancers. And Apple came from the Philippines in 1989. The first person he met was Will, and they became a dance crew called Tribal Nation. My dance crew
Word.
called
Okay.
the Tribal Brothers. So
Yeah.
at the same time that we were coming up as dancers, we were also embarking on this journey as friends and as brothers. And Ballistics was the hub that we all met and we came
Word.
together.
All right. You said okay. Well, hold on. I need to break this down for the audience real quick because I know about ballistics. I actually remember, and I'm going to break this down for the crowd. But before we do that, what was your first exposure of either dance or hip hop dance? Like, what was your first exposure? Like, what year was that too?
I want to say early 80s, seeing Wild Style,
Okay.
seeing Beat Street, watching Breakin', and really connecting with Boogaloo Shrimp, because
Okay, word.
I can't do those power moves. I'm not like floor guy, but I
Right,
could
right,
get upstairs and really do some dope, you know, like
right,
tell a story with my movement upstairs and really showcase fluidity from the top, and then really work on my footwork so that it's like I'm gliding the way that Boogaloo Shrimp was gliding when he did that piece with the broom in breaking.
right, right, right.
So I would credit, Boogaloo Shrimp as someone that influenced me at that young age, at that like, oh wow, hip hop is the thing that I want to do. And then on a personal level, is my grandmother that was the beacon of light and inspiration in my household, that always told me, believe you can achieve, dream big. If you want to be a dancer or a performer, like, I'll support you 100%. You
Oh
know,
God.
so grandma was like my superhero, hero without a cape. And her influence and her inspiration to not only to the love for the art form of dance, because she used to dance as well. She wasn't into hip hop, but she did old school style dancing, and then
Mm.
her tribal connection to her native ancestry built
Yeah.
to our story too, because we have powwow style dancing too in all tribal communities. So that influence was heavy in my heart, and I just gained all this information and knowledge by watching, folks like Boogaloo Shrimp, and then Jeffrey Daniels from Shalimar, and watching
Mm. Okay.
the Boogaloos, and watching freaking Danny Kaye and Fred Astaire and Bob Fosse, and the Nicholas brothers and the Berry brothers, to see different styles and frequencies that were not hip hop, but there were steps and ways that I could move my body to incorporate that in this modern story, which was my hip hop foundation.
Word. Were you old enough to go to like Radiotron and stuff like that at that
I
time?
go to Radiotron. I don't remember what year that was, but I remember meeting Carmelo there,
Okay, word.
and just being a fan of just wanting to be immersed by the culture.
Yeah.
And
I'm
but
yeah.
breaking was the thing I gravitated to. I wasn't a dope
Right.
guy on the floor,
Yeah.
but I knew that, hey, maybe that's not my ultimate weapon. Maybe upstairs is my weapon, and I could be a dope popper,
Right. Right.
or I could learn locking, right,
Right.
or
Right.
incorporate all these amazing art forms and styles and practice over 10,000 hours to come up with my own style and my own discipline. So when people saw me, they're like, yo, that's that dude with
Mm.
that martial arts, popping, footwork, freestyle type of movement. And it all
Mm.
derived from, watching the B-boys and being a fan of breaking, and being a fan of popping and locking, but also being a fan of the olden,
Yeah.
tap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, Bob Fosse, Berry Brothers, Nicholas Brothers,
Okay.
but then
Barry,
also love. I would
most
tell you,
people know about Nicholas brothers, but yeah, when you're talking about the Berry brothers, no one really talks about
yo,
them too
research
much.
that, kids,
Yeah, yeah.
boys,
We're gonna react to
girls,
that. We're gonna react to
folks,
that.
everybody, please check out the foundation of the Nicholas Brothers or the Berry Brothers, and you will understand where the acrobatics, the footwork, the finesse, the storytelling comes from, and that's what I felt like I gravitated to as a storyteller through my movement.
Real quick though, so okay, so we're talking about the '80s. Like when I had Little Caesar on, and I had I had Michael Holman, who managed New York City Breakers. I had DJ Renegade, and I had Little Caesar. They all said breaking died about 86-ish. Like for
Mhm.
me, as a 10-year-old, it died in 85, but for them, it was like 86. So when breaking died in 86, did you continue to do like kind of the dances that are coming up after that, which was like the
Bro,
walk, the running man, the
bro. I so transitioning from, like, okay, so the spark was there.
right,
Then I became a student, kid and play, scoop
right,
and scrap,
yeah, yeah,
Mission Impossible,
yeah,
mob tops, because I was
right,
like going into 80s into
yeah,
90s.
yeah,
Then you
yeah,
start looking at Scheme Team with Divine Styler,
right,
Brand Soul Brothers with Def Jeff. And then you
yeah,
start seeing all these different styles that were more like Zulu style, right? And you're like,
right,
yo, wait, that's a tribal style. It looks like something that derived from, ancient wisdom and
right,
formulaic type of movement. And
right,
then I'm like, yo, Scoop and Scrap are dancing for Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane is dancing. Oh wait, they got choreo and routines. They're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
the atomic drop, and they're going
yeah,
to
yeah,
the and that's just derived from James Brown, right? Like
Right.
Hood,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So that
Yeah. Yeah.
idea was like, yo, from breaking or being a b-boy, now I'm going to transition into learning the Kid and Play and the foundation of like North and South Street by Herb Alpert, like seeing all
Yeah.
the
Okay. Yeah. So we're like, yeah, that see, that was the Bible for us. Like when we first saw that Herb Alvin North South Street, it was like,
yeah,
yo, okay, it's transformed me because it was pretty much like 86, 80 from 86 to 89. It was like, yeah, it was like choreo routines, not choreo, but the first choreo routines, but it was like mostly like what you said, Divine Styler. You had like MC Hammer for sure, right? Like he was like, I'm the new James Brown. Like MC Hammer considered himself the new James Brown, right? It's like because he was like they're all in competition. Like you said it, the names were like Hammer, Kane. Someone in the chat said Heavy D, like Kid and Play.
oh, the Heavy
Like,
D,
you know what I mean?
yo, the Heavy D, and then you think I'm gonna give you somebody that you probably won't even think about, ladies and gentlemen. But for me, I will always consider this guy one of the dopest dancers. When he transitioned into acting and became a thug, I lost him. Tupac. Tupac
Oh,
Shakur
word,
was a
word.
student.
Digital, yeah,
Was a
Digital Underground.
student
Yeah,
Digital Underground was a student of the art form, and when he got on the dance floor and rocked, before he became the what people know him as, the dude was incredible, bro. Do what you like, talk
yeah,
high.
yeah, 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 yeah,
See
yeah.
all those folks. Watch that video. You'll see the routines. You see the dope ass session in the cipher to understand where we come from and how it was just about like flex your style. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna rock my style, and then together at the end of the day, it's not really a battle. It's just like you're showcasing. It's like gladiators showcasing their different um, um, fighting forms and fighting styles. I always think about you know Bruce Lee's when he's in that kumite and he's battling all these other warriors and fighters. That's how it was for us. It's like different styles came together, and sometimes you will see b-boys that maybe they weren't using freestyle and housing, and they were just doing power moves and top rock. And then you will see a guy that was a houser and came in there and did some house moves, but it was like all these different styles going at each other. And then you see the resurgence of like, wait, people weren't breaking anymore; they were freestyling and housing. But then they would incorporate these moves, like you would see like a power move incorporated, and you'd be like, oh wait, he just
Yeah.
went to a 1990, or he just went into some flares, but then came back up and started rocking, you know?
Yeah. Real quick though, I mean, we're going all over the place. We're like, I'm like, yeah, 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 and everyone's like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Real quick though, real quick, just so for reference, we're gonna react to this Berry Brothers video real quick. You know what I'm saying? So watch this, the Lindy Hop eccentric dancing, jazz dancing that we're talking. I can't play the music because you know what I mean, because
All
of
good. Yeah,
copyright,
yeah.
but
It's about the look and the
yeah,
feel and the frequency. You gotta understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is the early 1900s.
yeah. Look at that, like all the tricks and like what you're saying, like it went from like the influence of breaking, like this influencing breaking, then breaking ending, but this influencing that kind of like the social dance, bop, rock, Running Man, Kid and Play. This has a direct influence of that as far as Big Daddy Kane and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. So just to watch, and you can see like the coordination, the whole thing, and like that's why I like doing this show because it's like again, you know, like it's not just like hey we're competing. It's just like where are these moves from? What's the flavor? What's the style? There you go, boom. And obviously these guys influence guys like James Brown, who influences b boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See that?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Boom, boom,
Oh shoot,
boom,
yeah. You see that
boom.
today?
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, please to clarify, please excuse my enthusiasm and my overzealous nature. I'm just very passionate when I speak about this art form that I love, and I may be all over the place with my excitement and my energy. But please know when I get a chance to become a kid again and speak on these things,
Yeah.
I get animated. I talk a lot. I become boisterous. I become very passionate because
Yeah.
it's a very, very personal place. And I
Yeah.
haven't told this story, ladies and gentlemen, but I want you to know that it's coming from a candid, transparent place because people don't know this story of my journey.
Right.
outside of Black Eyed Peas, before the Peas,
Right.
dancing community has always embraced me as like, yo, like no matter what level of success the Peas has embarked on, I will always remember my foundation, and I want to educate the youth that only may know me through my musical career. And once again, please excuse my overzealous excitement, my energy, but I speak from the heart. I speak with a lot of detail, and maybe if I'm all over the place, apologies. But I'm trying to refrain from the giddiness that I feel.
Yeah. Nah, it's dope. Nah, because it's like you're throwing so much stuff on it, but it's like I want to break it down so people really understand.
Yeah,
Because like, for a lot of the kids, it's just like all at once versus like this timeline. Like
yeah,
I first was influenced by watching Boogaloo Shrimp on Breaking. Then it was Scoop and Scrap. And you know what I mean? And then no, I need to show that video. I was like, that's it. I was like, what's the next video? I was like, no, the Herb Alford. Because like, dude,
yeah.
that like people don't know. Like I uh I talked to Red Matic about, he talked about a club that everyone used to go to. I forgot what the name of the
Unity,
club is. I
Club
think
Unity.
that was you, or I
Yeah,
think it was, right?
Club Unity, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
big
And it
abuse.
was like, yeah, it was just, this is like, like around late 80s, early 90s when the styles were starting to really get mixed up. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
mixing the breaking, mixing the running man, mixing popping, mixing locking, mixing breaking, and to like house
look at
music.
look at that footwork, man.
Yeah.
That's I got inspired by footwork and trying to like really dance and tell a story through the movement. And it was like, the BPMs were fast at that time. If you think about like Chub Rock, Treat 'em Right, it's a fast
Right.
BPM. So you had to rock like you were, basically on a treadmill.
Right. So did you guys call it housing as well? As because we call
We
it house like
did, we
that
did,
mix.
but a lot of times because we were LA kids, we called it freestyle dance.
Okay. Okay.
Housing was more like Chicago, like all that Chicago housing. And
Right.
then people be like, "Yo, you a houser?" Nah, I'm a
Right.
freestyle dancer.
Okay. Word. So you guys called it freestyle. That's
Yeah,
dope.
we call it freestyle, bro. And
So okay.
people like people like Cross, who kept the legacy of b-boying alive and had freestyle sessions be a conduit of different b-boys and b-girls to come and represent. But we also had these events, to be able to showcase all styles that were not specifically only b-boying or
Right.
breaking.
Right.
And that's what we really sharpened our swords, because at that time we were able to not only rock the dance floor, we were able to get on the microphone too. So
Right.
you're killing two disciplines at one time.
Right. So so yeah, I'm trying to check out this timeline. So we went from like the freestyle, like just the social dances, to the mixture of it. Now let's break down that club that you were talking about, which David Faustino had. It
Ballistics,
was
yeah.
Ballistic. So if you guys don't know, David Faustino played Bud in Married with Children. And it
People are
was
probably like, "Bud, what's Married with Children?" If you got a young,
yeah, but for those who are old enough to
yeah,
like, which is crazy because it seems like there was this connection with the young actors in Hollywood that loved hip hop, like Brian Austin Green and
facts.
David Faustino. Like they really loved hip hop, which is like kind of the connection to Alchemist, kind of the connection to like, you know what I mean, like Muggs and them. So let's talk about like that connection to hip hop dancing and him having that club that helped support that.
Yeah, man. I mean, if it wasn't for that hub of hip hop on the Sunset Strip, I don't think a lot of us would have been able to have that place where we can call our clubhouse. Because
Mhm.
it wasn't just dancers, it was MCs, it was DJ Ski was one of the DJs. We had graffiti artists, we had celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio and Robin Thicke and freaking James Caan, who was the hooligan, or Scotty Caan, who was the hooligans. We had Ed O'Neill from Married with Children. Christina Applegate would come through. Alyssa Milano. All these A-list teen actors and actresses would come and watch the battles and just be immersed by hip hop culture. Even though there was a lot of white kids, they appreciated the art form too, and there were allies to be able to support the fact that we were showcasing our gifts and our talents and just trying to get a reputation from San Gabriel Valley to Hollywood. Be like, yo, I can rock San Gabriel, I can rock Rosemead and Montebello and East LA, and I can also rock Hollywood, because that was just the mentality. The bravado was like, I got to go everywhere to battle.
Right. And that's, I mean, and this is one thing. This is the question that relates to the kind of the MCing thing. What I noticed, like, right, as I was doing my research, what I noticed is like, okay, Raz Kaz, who's super lyrical. Wait a second, he was a dancer. Then you look at Wild Child and
Luke,
Madlib. Wait a second, they all went to Soul Train and was freestyle dancers. Then I look at you guys, like, is there a correlation between that? Like from that, like that good life, like you know what I mean? Like all
well,
that scene, your guys' scene and the dancing.
yeah, well, we were more uh, Foundation Funk Collective more than Good Life. We weren't Good Life.
Okay, word.
We were not. We had respect for it, but we were not affiliated with it.
Okay.
We had love for all the artists that went through there, and the MCs and poets, and just the idea of the good life. But we were more on the Filipino side because we're Filipino. But we would go to Filipino parties, the Masonic temples, the armories, the freaking the arena and Legend Entertainment.
Okay, word. Yeah.
Car shows, the import show offs, because that's where we were able to really feel at home because of Apple. Apple is the reason why we are Black Eyed Peas. If
Okay,
Apple
word.
came from the Philippines, met Will to start a dance crew, which eventually became a rap crew, Black Eyed Peas wouldn't have existed. And
Wow.
so
Okay.
we credit our story and our journey to Apple coming from the Philippines. So his connection to the Filipino community was something that allowed us to really be immersed in it. And Funk Collective was very heavy Filipino,
Yeah.
Mexican. I saw a couple indigenous voices and faces. And for me as an indigenous man, I was like, yo, I just I want to represent my communities as much as possible, but also be an inspiration to our youth. Because really, I got into dancing to make my grandmother happy, right? But then at the end of the day, it's like you go from being inspired by that one person to next thing you know, you're inspiring a million people through your art form, through your expression. And so, with all that being said, we had the Raz Kazes who were dancers. We had the Far Side who also danced.
Yeah, Far Side, yeah.
Yeah, Far Side. We had Exhibit who was a dancer too. And
Oh,
then
Exhibit was a dancer? I
yeah,
didn't know that.
you had Common in Chicago who was a dancer. So you
Yeah.
always had these dope MCs that actually transition from being dancers into loving the art form of MCing.
Yeah, it seemed like that, like even with Nas to Ghostface to Jadakiss, like Jadakiss could still do a windmill, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like that's why I'm starting to really notice, like, it seems like it just seemed like to me, just an observation that it seems like guys that are considered more conscious and lyrical start out as dancers or they have
Yeah.
this kind of background and
Well,
even yeah, go ahead.
I mean, bro, like the elements. If you don't know the elements, then what? Why are you even considering yourself hip hop? Part of hip
Ooh,
hop?
ew.
God, if you don't know
Now
the
you
elements or the tenements of hip hop, then like what? Like if you don't start, I mean, people don't start just as an MC. Like you
right.
can rap rhymes or you can write down rhymes at a young age, but either you're like tagging your name on a book and you're just like, why am I tagging my name so much? Why am I always trying to get up and get a reputation, right? Or why am I practicing in my backyard and doing this one move, doing the running man or whatever it was to be able to practice 10,000 hours to really master that art form of dance? Or if you're with your technique 1200 scratching and trying to like mix and blend and not crash, it's because you're learning the foundation of the elements of hip hop. And I think all of us that transition from dancing into MCing, we're just students of hip hop culture and really embraced all of the elements. Even if
Word.
we do all the elements, like I wasn't a DJ, but I loved the DJ art form.
Right,
I
right, right,
I was a tagger. I loved the graffiti art form. I was a
right.
b-boy who became a freestyle dancer. So breaking has always been part of my narrative. And then MCing, we just became songwriters. We went from being a rapper, like my lyrical miracle, miracle,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then you go into like, it just ain't the same. All ways have changed. New days are strange. Is the world insane? If love and peace is so strong, Why the pieces of love that don't belong? Nations dropping bombs, chemical gases filling lungs of little ones with ongoing suffering. As the youth are young, so ask yourself, is the loving really gone? So I can ask myself, really, what is going wrong in this world that we living in? People keep on giving in, making wrong decisions, only visions of them dividends, not respecting each other, deny thy brother, a war's going on, but the reasons undercover, the truth is kept secret, swept under the rug, and if you never know truth, you never know love. Where's the love, y'all? And that
There you
love.
go.
So you go from like just writing raps and wanting a battle on some rap style, and then you go into like, yo, I'm rocking a song and I'm getting with my brothers to write an anthem like Where's the Love? And that was, we started with Falling Up. I don't know, I'm jumping all over the place, but I'm
Yeah.
giving a timeline of how this all became, right?
Right.
So Falling Up was the first song that I had ever written with Black Eyed Peas. And then to get to Where's the Love, it just showed the appreciation from like rapping to writing a song and being a songwriter. So that element of the MC was always something that was very, very innate to us, but then it transitioned into becoming a songwriter.
Right. No, see, and this is what I'm saying is because like I think like what people don't understand about being a dancer is like even though it's freestyle, there's still some type of foundational composition. And
Facts.
then you kind of like it's just like jazz, right? Like jazz starts out with a thing, you go off it, then you come back, right? Like there's like these solid movements that come in, and like what you're talking about is like, and that this happens in every art form in hip hop, in DJing, in MCing. And I think the problem is like we're so separated right now. Like even like what I mean? Like this is like, and that's I was saying earlier in my live, like, it seems like Kendrick really like he's a student. You know what I'm saying? He's a student because he'll quote some rap from a Vallejo group that no one knows about, and yet he'll get like surfers from Oakland and San Francisco to
That
do
was
his
dope.
stuff. But then he'll also hire like poppers from LA, and then and crumpers too. So it's just like, yo, he has a really appreciation. It's like, and it's like, and he'll let them freestyle, not just do the choreo,
Yeah.
but he'll let them freestyle to get a vibe. And that's rare. Like that's very rare. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's why he comes from the cloth of, yes, he's from Compton, but he comes from the cloth of Nas and the essence of freestyle, freestyle fellowship, the essence,
Mm,
the Far Side, the Alcoholics, the
mm,
Exhibits of the world, and then it went into the Snoop of the world.
mhm.
But it's all hip hop foundation. I bet
Yeah.
Snoop was bumping X Clan and bumping freaking a Gangstar at the same time he was bumping King T and
Right.
NW.
Right. Right.
So it's just that idea of loving where hip hop takes you, because it's not just because you're from the West Coast you're only going to be to the gangster rap. It's like, nah, I
Right.
was inspired by KRS One and Boogie Down
Right.
Production, and I was inspired by DJ Quick, but
Right.
I love the West Coast vibe of dancing, but I also love the elements that are very global and international, like breaking.
Right. That's crazy. So, okay, so here's the thing. You mentioned earlier too that like you had a crew with Polo. Now,
Polo
Polo,
is
yeah,
So Polo has always been our manager. I mean,
right.
one of my best friends, if not like he's a compadre. We call each other compadre. He's my son's godfather, and he's been on this journey since I was 14. And I always loved Polo as my brother.
Yeah.
He's our manager to this day, and he's always had our back. And even though he wasn't a dancer per se, he
Mhm.
always loved the scene. That's why he got
Right.
into business with Cross One, because he's
Yeah.
like,
So yeah, for those who don't know, Polo is part of the grassroots, and he helps promote freestyle session with Cross.
yeah,
And that's how it's like. That's why I would always see you guys at
yeah.
freestyle session. You know what I mean?
I
Like, you
mean,
know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah,
you guys and Wild Child are like the most consistent, like
yeah.
outside of like, from the MC perspective, that's always there supporting, that doesn't even have to perform. You guys are just there to like literally support.
Yeah,
Like
because
we're here.
I love to see who the new cats are. I love to just support and stand in solidarity with the b boys and the b
There you
girls.
go.
all styles, the judges, the DJs that are DJing, and just like a reunion of all of us that came up together, and all the new cats that are learning and just sharing, art and sharing information of what they're contributing to the culture.
Right. Yeah. So let me pull this up real quick. And this is you just for proof, just for receipts. This
Freestyle
is
session,
you.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is you at Freestyle Session
yeah.
2000. And I
Yes,
remember
sir.
because it was the
Yeah,
Alexandria Hotel
yeah.
upstairs, right? This was the upstairs.
Boom, boom, good. That's when my
Yeah.
knees are intact. That's like that, bro. My knees are jacked, bro. Years ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, I have to take
My
care of
boy
mine. Man.
Romeo.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Romeo,
Yeah.
B-Boy City,
Yeah,
right
man.
there,
Guy.
Texas.
Yeah.
There you go. See that, and that's just, and this is like, yeah, this was like 2000, 2001, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Alexander. Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Alexandria Hotel. I was there.
Oh
I was
man,
like,
dude, that was like crazy, crazy battles, bro. Like the ground zeros of Miami to the freaking style elements. I mean, it was on and on. The who's who, the knuckleheads, the freaking
mhm,
super crew. I
mhm.
mean, it just was on and on battles and like just sessioning and seeing some of the illest dudes that evolved into doing their own shows.
Yeah,
Even had a lot of the Jabberwockies there who
word.
became
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the Rainins of the world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like it's such a small world, but but there's a big, real big influence that like, even though they don't know it, for the people that don't know it, like that were there, just experiencing just experiencing a jam, right?
Yeah.
That led to these little things such as like the Jabberwockies that led to the Red Bull BC1 guys.
Right.
And even on top of that, you had like Supernatural
Yep.
freestyle there. And just like, and for B-boys to really see, well, this guy's, there was like that straight up connection. And and you even mentioned, just to go back, about the Funk Collective, of it just like, yeah, it was car shows and Legend Entertainment, which was like basically beat junkies, right? Like
Yeah. It
see,
was, and it was I mean DJ Icy Ice,
right, word,
Red Matic. It was just
right.
like Big Babu. They were all rocking.
Yeah, yeah. And see, for us, in the Bay Area, it was like DJ Qbert, Mixmaster
Yep.
Mike, and like, DJ Shortcut. These were the guys I grew up with. And they used to be at the events as well. And that's what I'm saying. I was like, and now maybe to get to modern time, now you have like, I'm part of the AAU and breaking out here, which is like, the comp, like, that leads to like Junior Olympics, Youth Olympics, and it's more of an organized like sport, because that's the way, like, and my whole thing is like, how do we add the culture to it? Because now you won't catch a b-boy or b-girl necessarily paying to go to a rap show. But back then, that's the only place you could dance, was a rap show, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or a club. Like, there was no competitions. There was no like Summit was like not even that was like Summit was like once a year. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna go to Summit and maybe I'll get down there. And now it's just like there's all these events, but it's just that like category or categories, and like you might cipher for 10 minutes and then, oh, I gotta get ready for the competition. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, how do we bring that, educate the kids that don't really know? They're just there, they're just gonna jump rope, warm up, and then do the competition, and their parents are like, I'm out of here if you lose. Versus like what we just saw you at Freestyle Session. That was, you weren't in the battle, that was just the vibe, that was just a cipher.
We were catching the vibe, and you know what? Like, so just for context, for people that don't know, we started um, our journey not in the studio, because we didn't have money to be able to pay for
Yeah,
studio time, be in the studio, like actually practicing in front of a mirror and
yeah,
across the floor. And
yeah,
shout out to all the dance studios that have provided opportunities for the youth to learn styles and have these teachers and choreographers come and do workshops. So, because my daughter does it too. So
right,
shout out to everyone that's doing that. But for us, it was like we would go to the mall and find a place like Tilt and battle, and that
right,
was the battle. That was the jam, was at Tilt or a
right,
parking lot at In and Out. It's like, yo, this we're gonna meet at blah blah blah. We didn't
right.
have cell phones back then. I don't want to date myself, but I'm
Yeah,
keeping it a buck. So we would like be like, yo, we're gonna meet at 3:30 at In and Out parking lot. Bring the boom box or whatever it was, and we would battle there. So it was just like knowing and picking places that we wouldn't get the cops coming and beating
yeah,
up.
right.
So I mean, but we were so passionate about wanting to dance and just get our expression on that we didn't care. we didn't have the opportunity to have a place where we can all convey and express ourselves. So that's why it's important for the kids to know that ways that we can still hold on to the culture is to really be students and really do your diligence, really be, doing your history on the pioneers and always appreciate the pioneers and don't look at like, oh, them dudes are old. Nah, bro.
Yeah,
If
right.
it wasn't for Michael Jordan, there wouldn't be no Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. And let's keep it a buck. If it wasn't for Magic Johnson, there wouldn't be no Michael Jordan. So and the list goes on and on. Dr. J. I'm using the NBA
Right.
metaphor, big basketball guy, right? So it's just that idea of saluting our pioneers and the people that came before us and put it down and laid the groundwork for us. And that's why it's important to also salute like the kids that are trying to do the Junior Olympics, man. Like I
Mm.
love the exposure, and a lot of people have resentment. Some people are,
Yeah.
why is it going to?
Right.
That's not part of the culture, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I get you, I empathize with you, and I understand like preserving. But if we don't have eyeballs and we don't learn and try to educate folks that don't know about hip hop culture and don't know about breaking, then what are we doing? Then we're not expanding. And I feel because breaking is global and international, why not have as many eyeballs as possible and do
Yeah.
it in a very respectful and authentic way where you don't have like ray guns showing up and just you know and putting this whack juice on everybody, and whether you rock with it or not, like, bro, it brought attention to breaking and it wasn't the greatest attention, but the fact is, how do we redeem ourselves and how do we continue to push forward, because we can't dwell on the past. So just educating the youth on ways that we can be students, and still even to this day I'm a student on everything that's coming up and everything that will be.
Yeah, man. Nah, and here's the thing too. I thought, oh man, like the kids are going to be totally turned off by the what happened at the Olympics because the exposure was just towards the negative versus the
Yeah,
positive. Because
yeah, yeah,
like the positive was still like good, you know
yeah,
what I mean? But these kids are still going. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like internationally and even nationally and domestically, it's still
Yeah.
like there. Like I said, there's 14 regionals for the AAU, so that's like around the. That's good. That's a good sign. It might not be in
And,
the thousands, but
and honestly, like you see, like you see Victor and you see like Gerard and all these dope logistics and
Mhm.
all these folks that came from the U.S. And then you see the global b boys and b girls that are rocking, and the Hong Tens and all these amazing dancers that are rocking from different parts of the world, and they're still representing with a very authentic and genuine representation to the point it's high level. You still want to see it. You still want to be a part of the culture. So I think, like, even though that was one small, which was a big one because it then became a joke, it became
Right,
SNL.
right,
But we got to ride that wave. It's like whatever that. A lot of people say, "Oh, good press is a bad press is a good press" or whatever, right?
right.
But
Yeah,
how do we ride that wave and reintroduce this beautiful art form in a very genuine and dope way where people receive it and are like, "Oh, wow, that's what I was missing. Maybe that's wasn't represented by that
yeah.
person, and we want to be able to do it right."
Right. That's dope. See, man, like there's very few MCs that can talk about Hong Ten and then logistics. They were like, who? So it's dope to kind of hear that you're straight up. You do like you said. You're trying to see who's the next, who's
Yeah,
killing it right now, and this is to me. This is what's going to help the art form get out there. Is that people? I wish more MCs did know their local b boys and b
no,
girls and be fans of them and support them somehow, and not even just by money, just attention. Just hey, this person's dope. I can't wait to see them battle again.
yeah,
Stuff like just simple stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to create. Is that just is just that you don't have to necessarily be a B or a B girl, but you can appreciate
facts.
just the art and the talent of each individual dancer. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
even for
sorry,
me, like
I gotta charge my iPad here. Like
word,
dying
word, word.
4%. So hold on.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
nah, real quick too, while that you charge it, what we're
yeah,
gonna do is like you do have a series
yes,
of in on YouTube
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I gotta shout out somebody before we run that. So
Okay.
dance, stance elements. Um,
Yeah, Daniel and them. Yeah.
Daniel, yeah, Daniel has been such a curator of
Hmm.
connecting me with different style dancers from around the world.
Okay,
Whenever
word.
I go on tour, I was getting ready for my show, but I would do an interview with different style dancers. It wasn't
Right.
just one style,
Right.
and I was blessed to even bring one of my indigenous relatives, Kenneth Shirley, who did his powwow style dancing that has been handed down for generations to his family, and
Right.
be able to showcase my culture as an indigenous man, not just a hip hop kid. It's something that's very prevalent in my storytelling. I
Yeah.
want to, yes, sir.
Right. Yeah. Right here. Yeah. Just yeah. There you go. Just to kind of react to that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So keep going. Keep going. So like, yeah, I was gonna, actually ask you about like,
yeah.
has your culture influenced, you know what I mean, the approach? Because you're talking about your grandma and stuff like that.
It has, brother. It has, and for a lot of people that may be confused, I'm not Filipino. That's apple to apple Filipino.
Right.
I'm the native and Mexican. My grandmother is Shoshone and Hopi.
Word.
Those are tribes. She was from Jerome, Arizona. My grandfather was from Sonora, Mexico. So I really, I really encapsulated the idea of wanting to be a representative for both cultures. Un saludo a toda la comunidad latina y mexicana que están representando ahorita. I know somebody said, can you speak in Spanish? So I had to drop that. Saludo, mucho amor y estoy agradecido por todo el apoyo. Thank you guys. Anyway, Ken Shirley is a Navajo brother, Dene brother, that is he's a powerful powwow style dancer, and he talks about what the regalia, which is his gear that he's wearing, and what it represents, the different art beadwork that's implemented, that storytelling, the different designs tells the story of his family, but it also talks about the story that when he dances that he tells about his mother.
Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to like. That's dope. And this was in London.
This is in London. Ironic, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
London, and it's an indigenous man.
Right. And you guys happened to be there at the same time, or
Yeah,
was it like,
he
oh,
was
what?
performing
Whoa.
London, and I was performing in London. I was like, yo, I gotta showcase my brother, bro. Like, we're in London, we're with the Brits, the colonizers.
Yeah.
We're with the colonizers. Let's go.
Yeah.
um,
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's
man. So
crazy.
we brought Indian country to London, and I was proud because along with this hip hop journey, I'm a huge advocate for my indigenous communities.
Yeah.
I stand in solidarity for different movements and different events that we are part of as Indigenous people, whether it's in North America or Canada or around the world. I always want to showcase the love that I have for Indigenous communities and the pride that I have for my culture.
There you go, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, yeah. My girl's like, yeah, she's Mexican and has she has native in her too. So it's like,
Hey,
yeah.
let's go, bro. Salute to your
Shout out
girl.
to Mindy. Love you.
Yeah, brother.
She was like, she was juiced. I was like, yo, we're gonna touch upon it. Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
told her, I was like, yeah, Taboo's gonna be on. We're gonna touch about native stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just for
man. Let's
people to
go.
know and
I
stuff.
appreciate that. We need that because we have a lot of dope Indigenous b-boys and
Yeah.
like for example, Artson and
Yep.
B-boy Remind. We
Yep.
have DJ Element who
Yep.
is always DJing at freestyle session. Salute to him. We have different b-boys and b-girls that represent. We have some dope graffiti artists and MCs.
Yeah.
Superman, Natani Means, MC1. The list goes on and on. Dreezus from Canada, Snotty Nose Reds Kids. Females like Ash the Killer, Tia Woods. We have all these beautiful relatives from Indian country that represent indigenous voices, and I advocate for that because it's hip hop. No
Yeah.
matter what communities they're from, it's hip hop, bro, and we have to showcase how dope these indigenous voices are in this beautiful thing we call hip hop culture.
There you go, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. I was like, yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the next level is like, once you get the foundation of whatever moves you have, then it becomes, what are you bringing part of your culture
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
movements? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Remind is a person that does that. You know what I'm saying? Like even like if you're Filipino, like just like adding maybe some of the Filipino martial arts into your rocking or
Also, yeah.
whatever, burns or whatever like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I love. I did an episode of the show that you just showed in the Philippines, and we talked about the history of Danikling and how it was about the story about the bird and why the bamboo is represented on the ground and why they're doing that dance. So learning the history of these art forms that are ancient to those communities, and you're seeing it for the first time. You're like, wow, what is that bamboo stick dancing, right? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a beautiful thing because we're able to incorporate that not only in our conversation but also in ways that people have learned how to utilize their culture and be proud and bring pride within this beautiful hub of hip hop.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I mean, I hope, and like I don't know if I might be able to hook you up. I don't know if you heard of Monsell Durden. I don't know if you know who he is. This dude is the truth, man.
He's
He
dope.
really, yeah, he's a professor at USC. He's originally from Philly. I'm gonna have him on next week. He did a lot. He did. I found him out through Why Not, and this guy has studied from like the traces, the lineage of Africa to here to like what the dancer became to like he could trace back the Kid and Play to the Charlie Rock to the Charleston to the, like tribes in Africa. Like he's like really thorough as far as his research. I mean, that's his job. And it'd be dope because it's funny because he just posted a clip of Will. And I was like, hey, I'm about to interview Taboo.
Yeah.
So I was definitely like he's out there in SoCal too. So it'd be dope for you guys to connect because he's like, we're talking like really like he has the first article of Bam and Michael Holman talking about the word hip hop as a
Wow.
culture. He has it, the physical copy,
That's crazy.
and
That's
then he has,
archive, bro.
huh?
That's collectible right there.
Yeah,
Archive.
and he has this book from 1941. It was like about like comedians, but it shows like this tutorial spin on your head, like yeah. He talks about like Lindy Hop and eccentric dance and why that existed and like the Berry brothers would be considered Lindy Hop, but they would because they're doing flips, they would consider that eccentric dance. So this guy's like legit, like studies like, and I'm about to interview him next week, and I can't wait because like I want to ask about like because I'm really like me like I'm really like how come in New York same listen to the same music as LA, but breaking exists in New York, and in LA became locking and popping. You know what I'm saying? So questions like that, we try to come up with like basically anthropology
Yeah.
of like and the
Why?
study of social dynamic of why
Yeah.
what's what.
What I love about popping
Mhm.
is that a lot of gangsters, a lot of Crips, a lot of OG gangsters were popping, and that
Right,
were popping to Zap and Roger, and
right, yeah, yeah,
it was just you see like for example, the dude animation,
yeah,
like that dude is an OG, bro. Like he
yeah,
has
yeah,
the whole aura of being an OG. Like I see him before he's probably like an OG gangster that came to be just this essence of popping and animating his body. And I think it derived from the LA gang scene and then
mm,
evolved into like, wait, locking and popping, and it's different. A lot of people, I want to get this
yeah.
straight.
Talk on it.
What I don't, one of my pet peeves is when people say pop locking.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Pop locking. Are you pop locking?
yeah, yeah,
I feel like, bro, oh, there's two different styles. And that's something
right,
that me, like, I just want to educate the youth that may be using.
yeah. Uh-oh, I think you got cut out. But real quick, I think his thing died. Yo, Tab, if you're there, just tune in. I'm gonna show a video of him with Rox Right and Randy, just to kind of give background on like, his real research and his really just loving of the dance culture. You know what I'm
out of
saying? And
Mexico. I moved to
that's why I think it was
US
really
to
good to
LA
have him
specifically
on.
in
And here he is with Rocks Right. Hopefully he'll go back on before I think his battery died. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay. There he is.
Was so perturbed, bro. I was so perturbed talking about that my battery died.
Yeah. Let's go.
I
I was
was
okay.
I was so just because I like to educate
Yeah.
myself, and I know that there's a lot of protocol in hip hop culture that comes with learning curves, and I just want to inform people the ideas of utilizing the right terminology. Even to this day, I'm still learning a lot of terminology that I'm like, what? Oh wow, that's dope. That's what that's called. But it's once again, I can't stress enough the importance of being a student, and no matter what age. And I just wanted to tell you this, Profo, you and I are the same age. And when I
Yeah.
see your post about your age and about
Yeah.
you still rocking and practicing and still doing what we do, whether it's a different movement because we're not in our 20s anymore,
No, yeah.
the fact that we still share the idea of wanting to carry on
Yeah.
whatever frequency in this body at this age, still telling us that yes, we can't rock the way we did, but we're still going to keep our passion alive. We're still going to keep that fire alive because at the end of the day, I don't want to be that guy that's walking around like,
Yeah. Yeah.
nah, bro, let's
Yeah.
go. I'm going to
Yeah.
be 50 in July, bro.
Same. Yo, same. I'll be 50 in July as
Oh,
well.
word?
Yeah. July 4th. I'm 50.
I'm July 14th.
Oh,
Cancer.
shit. All
Let's
right.
go. Yes.
Cancer
That's dope, bro.
75. Here we
Yeah,
go.
man.
75
Yeah.
babies.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I welcome my age because look, bro, look at
Yeah.
you. Look at us.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
50? What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. So I've been sober for 18 years, and that's a big thing
Good
in
for
our
you.
society and our culture.
Yes.
When you get clear headed and you find that sobriety is sacred, for me, it helped me. It kept my like youth, right? And then on another note, I battled another demon, and that was cancer. In
Oh, that's right.
2014,
Yeah.
yes, in 2014, I got diagnosed with cancer, stage 2 testicular cancer. I
Oh,
did
geez.
chemotherapy 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. But guess what? It didn't kill me. And I'm
Mhm.
still alive. I'm still kicking ass. And
There
I'm
you
stronger,
go.
better, faster than I've ever been.
There you go. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is where it's just like, and this is, we didn't learn this. We had to like kind of like once you learn, like, hey, if I take care of my spirit and my body, oh yeah,
Facts.
you know what I mean? Because like, like
Facts.
chemo for 5 days a week,
5 days a week, 6 hours a day for 12 weeks, bro.
you have to have a strong spirit for the body to like catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Worked out, dude. I
And
mean, I was diminished, bro. It killed everything that's good, ladies and gentlemen, to kill that one tumor that's bad.
wow.
So
Yeah, yeah,
you're getting pummeled by
yeah,
all this crazy westernized medicine.
yeah.
And unfortunately, my spirit was broken. I wanted to give up, but I kept fighting on.
There you
Luckily,
go.
I had a strong rock like my wife and my kids and family
Word,
and friends, and I kept
word.
fighting on, and I'm still fighting on to this day. So now I'm 11 years removed from being cancer free.
And and off of like anything, any substance abuse, that's see, this is where what I like about the new elders, which is us. We're the new elders,
Yeah.
and we're not succumbing to that. We're starting to go,
No.
hey, shout out to Flow Master, like,
Facts.
so you're working out and like taking care of yourself is actually
Yeah.
more better than like, what I mean? And then dealing with trauma, because that's why you want to do these substances
No
anyway.
doubt, bro. There's
You
so
know what I
many issues. I'm
mean?
still in therapy, dude. Like
There you go.
I
See?
still go to therapy, and it's been so healing for me because I'm learning about all these issues and all these things that I needed to cope with, all the traumas and the
Mhm,
basic insecurities that we
mhm.
as kids may not really even understand we're going through, but as adults we're able to understand ways to cope with it and find healing mechanisms and really dive into therapy, and it's helped me, man. Like I don't run away from it.
There
Growing
you go.
up, my mom would be like, uh, you didn't need a psychiatrist. You're not crazy. No,
Right,
mom,
right,
it's
right.
not about being
Yeah,
crazy, mom.
yeah,
But you gotta
yeah,
understand, my
yeah.
mom is like old school,
Right.
traditional
Yeah, yeah.
Chicana from East LA. So she always got this like, oh, you're not crazy, mijo. I'm like, nah, mom, nah.
not
It's
about being
about
crazy.
it's about therapy, ma. It's about
Yeah,
wanting to listen and really like work on myself. I want to be a
yeah.
better version of myself each
There
day that
you
I'm
go.
living.
There you go. See that, and this is the thing. So I had a whole episode with a bunch of b-boys talking about therapy,
Mhm.
like because we want to show this next generation we're not afraid. Like we don't have to go for the toxic shit all the time. We don't have to
Facts.
like muscle it out. Like no,
Mhm.
you could be strong. You can like let it out so you can, And that's the thing I think like was dope. What that you're the same age as me is that we got rid of the we got to do it now and we have to no like this the pace and the marathon and
Yeah.
little at a time, bro. You outlast everyone. You know what I'm
Facts,
saying?
dude. It's a marathon. You said
It's
it
a
right, man. It's a
marathon. You know what I
marathon.
mean? Well, I listen to my body. If my body says, "Hey, you can't do it," all right, I
Mhm.
ain't doing it, and it's
Yeah.
kept me out. Like doing what I do, it's kept me out of injury, so I can play
Yeah.
the next day. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I can
Yeah.
keep doing this.
Yeah, man, and that's dope. Is that you have to listen to your body, and I think that was one of my downfalls of like
Mhm,
waiting too late.
mhm,
When I did get diagnosed with cancer, and I'm speaking to something that's real. Has nothing to do with creativity or dancing. This
right,
is just
right.
me as Jimmy Gomez being candid and sharing this. So when I got diagnosed with cancer in 2014, I thought that it was a back pain because of
Oh
wear and
shit!
tear of dancing and performing. And I'm like, nah, it's cool. I could get through it. Put some
Right.
Vicks vapor rub. Hey, ma, let me get some Vicks vapor rub on my
Fix
back.
is
It's all
everything.
good. It'll be all good, ma.
Yeah, yeah.
But that idea was not the approach, because then that pain became excruciating, which in turn became a tumor that was 4 centimeters wide, centimeters long,
Understand.
and I
Wow.
waited too late because I didn't listen to my body. So that was a teaching moment for myself, and I
Mhm.
educated myself on ways that I can prevent that from happening again, and always being one with my temple, because we only get one body and one mind.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. See, that's what I'm saying. This is the stuff we need to hear. The younger ones have to hear, and even just like if you're a macho guy, like, hey, you know what? Like, Like, we need to evolve and be like, okay, we have to bring awareness to like whatever's going on instead of like hiding it or toughening it out or drinking it away or smoking it away. Hey, let's
X.
deal with it and then we could fix it and feel better for the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm glad you're saying it because not a lot of the elders talk like this. Not a lot of people in hip hop, maybe now starting to, but before it was just like, no, I'm tough. No, I'm tough. I
Yeah,
can do
I,
it. You know what I mean?
bro. I always say this, and this is transparent, ladies and gentlemen. I always say, before you tell me how fucked up I am, let me tell you how fucked up I am. Because I
Yeah.
was a teen parent
Mhm,
as a teenager, had a kid at 17. That's the Mexican side of me,
mhm.
having kids at 17.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
mijo, you're having your kid at 15, mijo, like that. So,
And
all jokes aside, I did have a kid at 17. I started my life early as a parent, but I used that motivation to start my group with my brother Will. I am and Apple at 19. We became Black Eyed Peas. So I started my professional career because I had a kid, and that was my motivation, was to take care of my kid.
word.
And I did get excessive with the partying and the overindulging in drugs and alcohol, and then I became sober in 2007. So all these things I have no filter about. I want to talk
Right.
about this because if I could help one person, next thing
Yeah.
you know, I'm helping the next person. Next thing
Right.
you know, I'm helping the next person. Next thing
Right.
you know, we're helping a million people with
Right.
advocating for sobriety, for
Mm-hmm.
taking care of your body and listening to your body, prevention
Hmm.
in cancer,
Hmm.
prevention in, like, you don't want to be a teen parent, bro. Come on, man. Like, I've been down that route, right?
Right.
So these are the
Right.
conversations that I'm not only having with the audience, I'm having with my kids, because I do
Right.
have a teenager. My son's
Right.
going to be 16 in July 19th.
Wow.
So
Okay.
those conversations are prevalent. They're with ultimate empathy, because I empathize with the way he grew up, like
Mhm.
seeing me struggling as a parent, and now like I have those conversations with him about, like, yo, bro, life is not that easy, dude. If you're gonna do
Mhm.
it, you gotta strap up, you gotta make
Mhm.
sure you're protected, and it's not cool having a kid at 17.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And not just, and here's the thing too. It's like, it's not just talk. It's not, and you're coming from wisdom, like experience. And on top of that, you're looking the way you're looking. And living the life of that instead of just like, hey, just don't do what I do. I eat like bags of Doritos and like smoke
Facts.
tons of cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
You are a living example of just like, this is how I'm going to maintain my health so I could be here for people and do the thing I love. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
well, let me tell you something, bro. Like I want to be a role model. Yes, yes, I'll take on that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying to you, I do want to be an example to our youth. I
Right.
want to inspire our
Yeah.
youth. I
Yeah.
want to take on that idea of like, yo, there's a native dude from East LA that moved to Rosemead that played at the Super Bowl. He was the
Right.
halftime show at the Super Bowl. And
Yeah.
now he's at the Grammys, and now
Yeah.
he's at Standing Rock, standing in
Yeah.
solidarity with the indigenous people, and he's
Yeah.
always holding his grandmother at a high regard, and that's his
Yeah.
hero without a cape. And by the way, he's also a b-boy and loves
Yes. Yeah.
dancing, and
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
things come
Yeah.
from the idea of just wanting to be the ultimate role model and the best example to our seven generations.
Yeah, 100, man. That's I'm tired. I don't like to hear like I don't want to be a role model. No, once you step in that stage, you're a role
Facts.
model.
Facts,
You
dude.
have no choice in it. Everyone's watching everything you do. So
Everything you
why not
do.
be the best person of your ability
Exactly.
to be that example? And you know what I
And
mean? And that's why I commend you for like just being open about like,
yeah,
your journey and healing, man. Like,
yeah.
dude, like, you don't
Well,
hear enough about that.
Well, it's important. It's important to be candid and be honest. Like I ain't got no bullshit to kick to anybody, bro. I've been around the block. I've been around the world with the traumas and my freaking
Mhm.
my baggage. And I'm
Right.
like, yo, it's all good. I come with baggage, but let me show you my baggage because I don't have
Yeah.
anything to hide. I've already said
Yeah.
it so many times that it's become part of my conversation, and that's why people are like, yo, that dude went through this, he went through this, he went through this. Wow, he's a cat with nine lives, bro, because he's still surviving. He's still
Yeah.
telling that story and utilizing my testimony to be an inspiration and a beacon of light to those that need it.
There you go, man. That's what I'm talking about. Because, like I said, like we didn't, even the OGs in breaking is kind of still like there's only far few between that are kind of like talking about just getting healthy and even just mentally and physically. Because physically, just like most of us are like, I'm a dancer, man. I don't have to stretch or work out. I'm a dancer. Versus like now, it's like no, actually, if I would have just maintained, I could
Facts.
still do it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Mhm.
if I didn't drink as much and blah 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 blah, and ate better and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah, and be clear mentally, then I would still be doing this. And then I could show the kids. And that's what I mean. Honestly, I still like to battle, but it's more like I'm more like an example of, hey, I could still get to these levels. I
Yeah.
might not heal as fast as you, but I'll go rounds and I'll be good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like then because like, back then the shelf life was like 18.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true, bro.
you know what
It's
I'm
true, and
saying?
that's why it's important for us to continue leading by example
Yes.
and being the best version of ourselves, as you
Yes.
mentioned. Just because, like for all the young kids that are tuned in, please excuse my language. I know I dropped a couple of crazy f bombs, but I was just speaking so passionately, and it just came out. I was like, I just felt comfortable, man, and
Yeah.
honestly, those are the moments for me to really rein myself in and let you guys know that it's coming from a great place, a place of humility first, vulnerability, because I'm sharing a lot of personal
Mhm.
information with you. But at the end of the day, it's coming from a place of love because I got nothing but love to share, man. And that's all I want to do. I just want to
Mhm.
pass on to our youth and to the next generation the love that I have for you for supporting our culture, our dance communities, and just letting it be known that, you can also achieve your dreams and aspirations as well.
There you go. Oh, see, and that's what like you can't say it better yourself. Like I can't say it better than myself. Than I'm getting tired because I'm inspired, man. Because again, you're proof of like just resilience, hard work, vulnerability, openness, and humbleness has helped you get to where you're at now. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't know what they're kind of going in because in breaking we have yet to have a Michael, like as far as financial Michael
Yep.
Jordan limits,
Mhm.
but who would have thought that you would have get to tour around the I didn't like when I was
Mhm.
started dancing, I just cared to just dance versus like
Yeah.
being around the world doing this. And to give inspiration, like, yo, it is possible. And like we're paving the way to create for the next generation to like get to those levels of a Michael Jordan, of a,
Yep.
you know,
Facts.
LeBron, you know. But then we have to do it not just like the guy to like do it financially, but we need this body and this spirit and this mind to be good to get there. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
And
Not just
that
rely on the, what, you know, just the wins or whatever.
well, that's the beauty of the ideas of whiteboarding and dreaming. You know, ideas. Like for example, what you said about the Michael Jordan effect. You know, skateboarding started as a subculture
Right.
in the in the late 70s, early 80s. Then
Mm.
it became a thing where kids were starting to pick up steam, and then you started seeing these brands like Nike see the success in the Olympics, and that's why the Olympics was so important for us. And it's
Right.
okay, you know, that's
Yeah.
just we got to figure out another way where the essence of skateboarding and all these amazing skateboarders like Tony Hawk and the Paul Rodriguez of the world. And when they saw P Rod, Nike's like, whoa, let's create this SB sneaker for the
Right. Right.
skateboarders.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So SB became a thing because of P
Mm.
Rod or Paul Rodriguez leading that advocating for skateboarding, the culture that he immersed himself and became a student and became one of the icons of. And it brought this energy to corporations to understand like this is a viable genre and a viable community and culture. Skateboarding can be, you know, because it is a business now. It's become
Yeah. Yeah.
a very high level business because to your point of Michael Jordan, it's got to start somewhere. So I
Hmm.
think we got to figure out how we make momentum or moments become momentum
Yeah.
so that we're able to generate awareness of breaking, not just being limited to what people perceived was that one situation in the Olympics, but actually it's a viable energy for the youth to be inspired. We're talking about health and wellness. We're talking about movement. We're
Yeah.
talking about community. We're talking about positivity, taking your frustrations out on the dance floor,
Hmm.
using, you know, your art form and your talent to be able to tell a story, storytelling, and creating businesses around this to be able to really show corporate America. Because some people will get turned off by like, oh, it's corporate, it's sellout.
Right.
Like, no,
Right.
bro. We want to make sure everybody understands the beauty of our art form, and without that, you got to compromise. Do it
Right.
in a respectful way. We have to compromise. Michael Jordan was like, oh, the sneaker thing. I don't know. I want to sign with Adidas.
Right.
I don't want to be on
Right.
Nike. Oh, what's this Nike thing? Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
But his
Yeah.
mom's like, no, 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 watch. This is how we're gonna do it. So, along with Sonny and his mom,
Hmm.
Michael Jordan would not have been Michael Jordan if Nike didn't, you know, be like,
Right.
oh, we're gonna take all our money and invest in this one guy, this college student coming out of North Carolina,
Right.
create the sneaker for him. And
Yeah.
guess what? Because they were bought in, corporate America bought in, and the next thing you know, you got the
Yeah.
Air Jordan.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, that was the game right there for real. And it's like, again, you don't have to do, in the end of the day, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but you
Yep.
do have to, like, you might have to pivot. It all depends, right? It all
Yeah.
depends. As long as you get to express and you're in control of what it is, then that's all you could ask. You know what I'm saying?
And I will also add one more thing. It's like having the right people be the
Right.
judges, advocating the right gatekeepers, not some like corporate dude that's sitting at a desk that doesn't
Mm,
understand the culture. That's when
mm,
we lost, bro. That's
right.
when it's like, oh man, we just gave up our beautiful art form to
Yeah.
someone that's just looking at dollars. It's like
Right.
if we have gatekeepers that come from our community, the
Yeah.
b-boy crumbs of the world. I saw you
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
b-boy
Oh,
crumbs,
yeah.
the you know the pillars of, for me as a kid from LA, Cross One. I want to
Mm.
credit Cross One for a lot of the
Yeah,
things that
dude.
he's done
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
LA,
Yeah.
San
Yeah. Yeah.
Diego.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
100.
it's
Cross to the man. Yeah.
yeah, dude. So it's just that his contribution to all of us has been something that I've always appreciated as brother. But it's like that. Like you need someone like a Cross One to dictate that conversation, you know. And I see Ronnie also doing a lot of great
Yeah.
work.
Shout out to Ronnie, man.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
And you know, you need to infiltrate these corporate America, Red Bulls, the ESPNs of the world, and really understand how we can move, still have the integrity, and
Hmm.
hold
Hmm.
the gatekeepers accountable for how we move as a culture.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, like we're all in our 40s now. Like they're in their 40s. Like Cross is 50 as well, and it's kind of like, well, now we're in charge. We're old enough to, and we put in the time and time and hours, like you said, to
Yeah,
understand, to even communicate to corporate America. Right? We're
yeah,
not kids.
yeah.
We're actually helping move the culture. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy about that. That now we can be in seats in corporate. Even for myself, the reason why I came up with the show is like I wanted to do research of dance. I wanted to know the history. Like, I got to interview some of the guys at the Herc parties. Like to me, that's like, tell me those stories.
Yeah, that's
And
dope, bro.
and
That's
that's
dope. You
where
know,
yeah.
one of the things I wanted to tell you that how proud I am about your evolution, not only in the dance community but just as a journalist,
Thank
because
you.
you're a b-boy journalist, bro. You're interviewing different disciplines, different folks from the different crews and different lanes, but at the end of the day, hip hop is the history we're telling, right? We're trying to learn as
Hmm.
much and gaining as much
Hmm.
information and educating ourselves. Because every time I
Yeah.
watch your interviews, it's something different. You know, it's
Right.
something that's provoking, thought provoking. You're doing your due diligence. You're actually asking thought provoking questions, and you're doing something that a lot of us need. We need leadership like that and guidance to be able to tell these stories that go beyond like. So tell me about your dance style. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I mean, of course, right? The nerdy side of me is like, I want to learn how you learn that move or how you develop it. But then it's also how, like, where's your mentality? What was your
Hmm.
home like? What was like the environment
Yes,
around you to
exactly.
create it,
Yeah.
right? Because
Hmm.
it's not just about creating the move. It's like you are giving a piece of you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And who knows? Some inspiration came because of a song. Some inspiration came because of a movie. Who knows? But
Mhm.
I want to hear those stories because it put it honestly. I'm cheating because it makes me a better dancer. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shoot, I never thought of it like that. So it
Right.
changed my way of thinking, and that just helps my creativity. So that's the
That's
hack.
dope.
Like I get to like talk to all these different people and get ideas of an approach. And that's just where I'm at right now. This is what's speaking to me. You know what I'm saying? Besides just the dance, is to document this. And maybe I'll come out with my own documentary. I don't know. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
I,
I appreciate you, dude. I'm sorry to cut it short. I know we've been
yeah, it's all
talking for
good.
an hour, but I
Yeah,
gotta go,
yeah,
man. I gotta,
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, I am a dad at the end of the day, so
yeah.
I got daddy's duties. It was a
There
great
you go.
conversation. I hope we can do more.
Yeah, let's do more, man. Maybe we'll get more people in, like, like, and just like maybe an actual like DJ and a b-boy and a house
Mhm.
dancer and like have just
Yeah.
a powwow and just talk, right, on topics or
Okay.
whatever, whatnot.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to all the people that tuned in. Gracias a todos que hablan español. Un aplauso para mi hermano Profo. Estoy muy agradecido de esta oportunidad de representar y apoyar a la comunidad de hip hop culture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All
All
right.
right, brother.
Thanks for everyone
Peace.
for tuning in. Peace.
Yes.
And I'll see you guys
Peace.
later. Dope show, guys. I'm out.